Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the session on Geography through Maps 2020. Myself Sandeep, I will be teaching you current affairs related map marking in these videos. Many students who are used to these videos, you are aware that every year we release this video 1 month before the exam based on current affairs in that particular year. So this year we planned of releasing this video in May, 1 month before your prelims, but unfortunately because of this COVID crisis and there was no clarity on the prelims date, we thought of releasing the video once we get clarity. But as the lockdown has extended, we personally believe it is very important for us to go in detail this year and try to do this video in a different way compared to the previous sessions. So earlier, I used to do only one video which covered completely what we call as the world geography, especially map marking, which was closely associated with current affairs. But students always asked us, so why can't we deal with India-based map marking as well? So we thought it is better if we can combine these two now. That is, I will have a series of videos where I will cover every map marking, every place in news with the help of some background information that is present in the news. Remember, it's very easy for me to take a session on maps where I start with all the mountains in India, all the lakes in India, all rivers in India. So when we normally do like that, definitely when you listen to some 500 to 600 places, if UPSC asks you any question, you will be definitely able to answer because you have seen everything. But not many students are capable of remembering all these map markings properly. So to ensure that it benefits even those students, and also from exam point of view, 1 day or 2 days before exam, you can't revise all those places, it's useless. So at that time, you should know which are the high yielding areas. I repeat, the video is not intended to teach you all the map places that are there in India and also in the world as done by some other videos. Here the focus is mostly on giving you very important places that were in news. I will tell the reasons, and based on that particular reason, what are all the additional points that we need to study about that particular aspect will also be discussed in these videos. I hope it's clear. So I am just trying to tell you that this will be a series of videos where every week I will try to release a video on the basis of current affairs from last 1 year. In this video lecture, we will be seeing some important places that we need to understand from India perspective, right? So to start with, the first most important issue that everyone is aware this year is about Article 370 and Article 35A. So I'm not going to discuss about this from international relations, nor I'm going to discuss this with polity. I'm going to discuss this purely with respect to geography. I believe commonly known questions are not asked by UPSC. Related to that, there are some other aspects which UPSC normally tries to ask. So let us see what are those issues first of all. Now, every Indian is now aware that Indian government abrogated Article 370 and Article 35A, where the state of Jammu and Kashmir were divided into Jammu and Kashmir Union Territory with State Assembly and Ladakh Union Territory without a State Assembly. On what basis was this divided? If you see, guys, when we look at Himalayas, right? When we look at Himalayas, I have first Trans-Himalayas, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks. Now, when I am talking about these two Himalayas, Trans and Greater Himalayas, most of them is present in your Ladakh region. I will show all these mountains to you today. They are present in the Ladakh region. When it comes to Lesser Himalayas and Shivaliks, they are mostly present in your Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. In that particular part, they extend. So, Ladakh region mostly has this Trans-Himalayas and Greater Himalayas. I will come to that as I told you. Now, this is one aspect. Second, geographically, if you check, can you see at the bottom Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh? Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and Ladakh. They have border with Jammu and Kashmir. Fine. Two states and union territory of India has border with Jammu and Kashmir. Similarly, if I take Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu Kashmir has border with Ladakh. So, one state and one union territory has border with what? Ladakh. Clear? From Punjab, can I go directly to Jammu and Kashmir? Yes. From Punjab, can I go to Ladakh? No. I have to cross Jammu and Kashmir. It doesn't have direct border with Jammu and Kashmir. Second, from Himachal Pradesh, I can go to Ladakh and I can also go to Jammu and Kashmir. Statement is correct. See, all these are the probabilities where you will get a question on this. Now, I want you to know that Muzaffarabad is actually part of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, where Pakistans call this as Azad Kashmir region, and it extends to this part as well, which I will explain in Ladakh. So, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, especially Azad Kashmir, is part of POK. It is now part of what? Jammu and Kashmir. Right? It is part of now Jammu and Kashmir. So, this is one important aspect that you should be aware about. Second, for Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan actually has border. Pakistan has border with Jammu and Kashmir. Whereas Ladakh, if I take, Pakistan has border, Afghanistan has border, China has border. Fine. So, this part of Jammu and Kashmir is occupied by Pakistan, and this region is called as Gilgit-Baltistan region. We call it what? POK. Gilgit-Baltistan region. And here you have Azad Kashmir region. Pakistan occupied Kashmir is basically divided into two regions, Gilgit-Baltistan and Azad Kashmir. Gilgit-Baltistan is made part of Ladakh. Azad Kashmir is made part of Jammu and Kashmir. So, Indian map today includes the Pakistan's occupied two territories. And then we also include Aksai Chin region, which is disputed by China. Aksai Chin is part of what? Ladakh. It is not part of Jammu and Kashmir. I want you to know which area is part of which particular province, so that it's easy for you to know and answer any type of questions. Is this clear, guys? So, I repeat, we saw Jammu Kashmir, we saw Ladakh, right? We also saw Punjab, Haryana, and I told international boundaries with Ladakh, 3 countries have border. With Jammu Kashmir, only 1 country has border. Next, let us look at, does China has border with Jammu Kashmir? No. Have this clarity. Next, when I look at Jammu and Kashmir, as I told you, above I have Greater Himalayas and below I have Lesser Himalayas. Pir Panjal range, Doladar range, they are part of Lesser Himalayas. Srinagar is actually in between this, where your Vullar Lake and Dal Lake is present. You can also look at Jhelum River, right? I repeat, we can also look at Jhelum River, and from geography perspective, I want you to know, Jhelum is the only river which meanders in its youth stage. That means in Kashmir Valley, they normally move like this. Jhelum River meander in its youth stage. And where is it present? It is meandering near Srinagar. Is this clear, guys? For me, Srinagar is extremely important because it is in between Greater Himalayas and what do you call? What is the another one? Lesser Himalayas. Pir Panjal mountain ranges. Can you see above this, whatever I have is your Ladakh region. It's not exactly here, it will be at the border. So, don't think it is within Jammu and Kashmir. So, yeah. Can you check for Kishan Ganga river? Yeah. Can you check for this Kishan Ganga river? Actually, there is a dispute going on between India and Pakistan over the waters withdrawn from Kishan Ganga river. I want you to know. That's a tributary of Jhelum, right? Just try to be aware that it is disputed between India and Pakistan. Next. Now you see here, guys. Nanga Parbat. Can you see? Nanga Parbat. Where is it? It is in Ladakh. From Nanga Parbat to Namcha Barwa, I'll write Nanga Parbat to Namcha Barwa. Where is Namcha Barwa? Arunachal Pradesh. So Nanga Parbat to Namcha Barwa is your Greater Himalayas. Where are these Greater Himalayas? They are present in Ladakh region. Above that, can you see Zanskar, Ladakh, Karakoram, right? And beyond this, you will also have Kailash ranges. So what all you have? Karakoram, Ladakh, Zanskar, Kailash. They are part of what? Trans-Himalayas. So they are all part of what? Trans-Himalayas. The Soda Plains, Ladakh Plateau, right? What are all these? They are part of Aksai Chin, which is actually like, which are actually threatened by China. China always try to claim this particular part. So the most important river here that you need to know, you can see here Indus river flowing. Indus will be flowing in this direction. To this, I have Zanskar river and I also have the Shyok river, right? So I repeat, for Indus, I have two rivers. One is Shyok river. See, when the river is moving like this, Shyok is coming and joining from this part. That is, it is your right bank tributary. And when you have Indus, again you have Zanskar, which is left bank tributary. Guys, when a river is moving like this, if something comes and joins from this side, it would be right, and something from this side would be left. Clear? Even these type of questions they may ask you for sure. You should be aware about it. Clear, guys? And then I'll erase them. You can see now, you have Siachen Glacier. Clear? Actually, this was taken by Pakistan. India, through Operation Meghdoot, recovered Siachen Glacier from Pakistan. Recently, Indian government was given, Recently, Indian government has said that trekking is permitted in the Siachen Glacier. Pakistan was telling that it's a disputed territory, how can you send them? And how do we reach? We have a river there called as Nubra River. And that river normally helps in reaching to the Siachen Glacier. Last year there was a question on this mainly because there was some environmental issues about use of or throwing of plastics into this particular water, because it's extremely cold and soldiers normally use frozen food. They store in the plastic, which when is thrown into the water, it has led to some environmental issues and it was in news. But I'm just trying to tell you that particular aspect. Clear? Next, I want you to be aware the dispute that it is going on today is over this Depsang Plains between India and China. As of today itself, while recording, we had the issue of China increasing their troop presence and all in this particular part. That is associated with the Depsang Plains. Fine. So you should be aware about these. UPSC normally will ask you Soda Plains, Depsang Plains, Lingitang Plains, right? Deosai Plains and others. Everyone would have read Article 370 and Article 35A from polity perspective, but when UPSC tries to ask you in detail about map marking with respect to Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh, we should be in a position to answer, because most probably the questions will be from these. Clear, guys? Next, when I look at some of the rivers that, as I told you now, I have Indus, Shyok, right? You already saw them. Jhelum River. Indus is moving in this particular way, not to worry much. So, the next issue that we need to focus is about Indo-Nepal border dispute. This year, we have seen border problems between India and Nepal, India, Pakistan, India, China. All these have become important for us. Now, if you see, there is a river which flows like this, called as Mahakali River, and there is another river also which flows like this. Now, when I normally see, India says that this is Mahakali River, whereas Nepal says that this is Mahakali River. So, in between area is disputed. Under which treaty it came? Sugauli Treaty, where Nepal and British India had signed, identified that Kali River as Nepal's boundary with India. Before that, which was the boundary? Before that, it was Sutlej, which was considered as the boundary. But now, which is the boundary? Now they are considering Kali River after what? 1816. Nepal claims that this particular region where you have Kala Pani and Lipu Lake region belongs to Nepal, whereas India argues that no, it belongs to India. So that's why there is dispute over this. Now, what is this Lipu Lake? Lipu Lake is a pass. What is the meaning of a pass? I'll try to show you, you see. See guys, this is a valley, this is also a valley, but the difference here is crossing this valley is very difficult, crossing this valley is very easy. So, such valleys where it is very easy to move is known as pass, mountain pass we call it. Now, through this mountain pass, normally India can go to Manasarovar. Manasarovar, what is the significance of Manasarovar? Indus originates, Hinduism has some significance, many people go to Manasarovar. So, when they go to Manasarovar, they were using this Lipu Lake. So, where is Manasarovar? Manasarovar is in Tibet. China is part, right? It is within China, to be frank. So, now, I told China that I will construct this Lipu Lake pass and come to Manasarovar. That made China to be part of this. But during 1962 Indo-China war, India had realized that wherever these passes are present, there Indian army should be very strong and it should be under India's control. If it is not under India's control and if Indian army is not strong, China can easily come through this pass and defeat us. During 1962 war, it happened. So, India is very much conscious that we are not willing to give these passes to anyone else. So, the fight today is over the Lipu Lake Pass and also about the Kalapani region, which is on the western side of Mahakali River according to India, whereas Nepal believes that Kalapani region, that is on the eastern side of the Kali, which they believe is part of theirs. So, that's the basic fight that is going on between the two countries. Which are the two countries here? That is India and Nepal. The other tri-junction issue, as it was with respect to Nepal, which I wanted you to know this year, what if they give map marking. Now what happens, guys? The beauty of this exam is they will definitely ask you a question on Lippu Lake Pass, which is at the tri-junction of what? India, Nepal and China. But they may also ask other related disputed territories, and they may ask you where are these present. At that time you should have clarity. So if you see the Doklam issue, which is actually disputed, right? The Doklam issue which is actually disputed, if you look at this, this is at the tri-junction of Sikkim, Bhutan and China. 3 years back, China tried to capture this, and near you have Dokla La, which is at the tri-junction of India, Bhutan and China, Nathu La Pass between India and China, right? I am giving you, see here, Nathu La Pass. In the Chinese side, Chumbi Valley is there. So India, I repeat, I have what? Nathu La Pass. India used to go to China through Nathu La Pass. From there we used to go to Manasarovar. That was one route available. Next is Chumbi Valley, which is actually part of what we call as China itself. Right? There is no dispute over that. After that, there is Dokla La. Please remember, Dokla La, where recently China planned to come closer and construct roads and railways here. And remember, Dokla La is the tri-junction. Please remember, if they ask you which are the tri-junctions, Nathu La is not a tri-junction, Chumbi Valley is not a tri-junction, Dokla La is the tri-junction. And when we say Doklam, it is disputed between Bhutan and China. Guys, these are all geographical map marking clarity that you should have. Now, from here, can you look at this particular part? This is known as Chicken Neck or Siliguri corridor. Now, from Nepal, if anyone is coming and if we have to go to Northeast India, right, from West Bengal, then it is through the Siliguri corridor, which is closer to Doklam. So if they ask you about Doklam, you should be aware it is closer to Siliguri corridor. That is also important for you. Clear, guys? Nathu La, Chumbi Valley, Dokla La, Doklam. Clear? And then if I move to the next place, see, Jammu Kashmir I saw Aksai Chin, Nepal border dispute I saw, Bhutan, China border dispute I saw. Now I am coming to Arunachal Pradesh, eastern sector. I have Tawang here. Now this area is disputed because here you have Buddhist monastery. Many Tibetans enter into Tawang and from there they enter into India. So China always claims over this particular part. Tawang is part of Arunachal Pradesh. Velong is the easternmost district of India. Can you see this, guys? Easternmost. And here Chinese came with troops to capture. So it was last year itself. So because of that also you should be aware, Tawang is at the tri-junction of Arunachal Pradesh, Bhutan and Tibet. Velong is at the tri-junction of Arunachal Pradesh, Myanmar and China. So these places are important for us. Next, Arunachal Pradesh, some important facts that you should be aware. Dafla, Miri, Abor and Mishmi. These are part of Himalayas present in Arunachal Pradesh. They may ask you to arrange them from east to west or north to south. These four mountains, which are they? Mishmi, Abor, Miri, Dafla. And then eastern Himalayas, Purvanchal, whatever we call, Patkaibam, Naga Hills, East Manipuri Hills, Limatal Ranges, Lushai Hills, Mizo Hills, Bareil Ranges, Tripura Hills, present in Tripura. They are all part of what? Eastern Himalayas. I repeat, Patkaibam, Naga Hills, Bareil Ranges, Limatal, East Manipuri Hills, Lushai Hills, Mizo Hills. UPSC has multiple times asked which of the following mountains are present in which part. They may give you any of these mountains and ask where are they present. These are all important because this year we had agreements like Naga Accord and all, where several groups, especially associated with Northeast India, has given up arms. So it's important for you to locate these places as well, right? And I want you to know one important thing, that is, at Sadia, right, Indian government recently constructed a bridge. So I want you to know, rivers from different side, they come and join. That is, you have Dibang river and Lohit river, which actually joins what we call as Dihang river or Siang river. Dihang or Siang river is normally present, right, which is actually your Brahmaputra river in Arunachal Pradesh. For that, you have Dibang and Lohit river joining. You should be aware they are present in Arunachal Pradesh. This year, because of floods in Brahmaputra, that is last year you had floods, very bad floods you had. So see here, Dibang, Lohit, Burhi Dihang, Subansiri, Dikovu, Dansiri, Kopili, Bhareli, Barwadi, Manas. So UPSC may ask you, which of the following are tributaries of Brahmaputra? Not all the rivers are important, guys. Only when there is any significant breakthrough, then only UPSC will ask you. This year, I would suggest you to see Brahmaputra and its tributaries. In class, we could have revised and repeated, but now at least the place names that I am talking, you should be aware. Most importantly, Teesta is the tributary of Brahmaputra, which you should be aware as well. Then another dispute between India and Pakistan is about Sar Creek. Fine. Sar Creek is the island that is disputed between India and Pakistan near Run of Kutch. You see here, Run of Kutch marshland. Fine. So just be aware, if they ask you which of the following areas are disputed, Sar Creek is disputed between India and Pakistan. It is believed that they have oil and natural gas. Next, in between India and Bangladesh, there is a river known as Feni River, right? There is a river known as Feni River, and this Feni River is not always straight, but once it will be moving like this, another time it will be moving like this. That means it will be fluctuating. So recently Bangladesh actually allowed India to take some water from Feni, right? So I want you to know, Feni River is border between India and Bangladesh, especially between Tripura and Bangladesh. Clear, guys? That is very, very important. Feni River. Next issue, just I thought I will include some mineral based issues which were in news before we conclude. Border problems, I'll just repeat. We started with Jammu Kashmir, we went to Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, Arunachal Pradesh, Northeast India, India, Bangladesh, and India, Pakistan, maritime as well. Now I want you to know about the Nallamala mountain ranges which were in news because of uranium reserves. I doubt if UPSC will ask you directly about this. So it may be question about Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, and also about other places where uranium reserves are present. So let us see. There are 6 regions where uranium is present. First is Aravalli ranges, right? Second one, where it is believed to have significant one is the Chhattisgarh basin. One is Aravalli basin, another one is Chhattisgarh basin. Third one in Chotanagpur plateau, where you have Singhbhum province, right? Singhbhum province, Chotanagpur plateau. Then you have Meghalaya plateau. Meghalaya plateau. We say Bhima basin, right? And then we have Kadapa basin. Today it is believed that one of the largest reserves are present in this particular part. In other places you have little bit of reserves, guys. So in Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh and all, especially in the Himalayan belt, you have Western Ghats little bit and some parts of Eastern Ghats. It is believed that there is uranium reserves. Then we need to look at coal reserves in India. This part of India where you have coal is called as Chotanagpur plateau, Meghalaya plateau, Midland belt. This is known as Midland belt. Officially, if UPSC gives you the terminology, you should be aware. Meghalaya plateau, Chotanagpur plateau, Midland belt. Lignite, which is much younger, is present in Tamil Nadu, Gujarat marshy land region, Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir. Right? Lignite and coal. They are present in other parts as well, major regions. I just wanted you to know. So in your geography class notes where you would have written coal reserves, where you would have written uranium reserves, go back and read that issue again properly. Western Ghats, if you see Gujarat, guys, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Western Ghats is part of these 6. And right, Anaimudi, largest. Then you see Eastern Ghats, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, right, Karnataka. So you have these states where you have Eastern Ghats. Clear, guys? Eastern Ghats are present in 5 states, Western Ghats are present in 6 states. You should be aware about these. And Aravallis, if we are considering. So today, Indian government is planning to have a green belt here under UNCCD. Because of that, I am trying to talk about Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat. In these 4 states, Aravallis is spread. And along this stretch, India is planning for a green belt as well. Guys, important areas I will stress a lot. Other places in news which may come directly or indirectly, I am trying to provide. I am not going in depth which you would have read in your geography, Indian geography itself, because those who have heard our lectures at La Excellence, you will be easier because you would have seen them properly along with the class. So you need not worry. But for others, you would have already read in your notes or NCERT books, at least maps. If you have not read them in detail, at least the points that I have told, you have enough time. So India wise, I suggest you to search about that in internet and collect additional information like the rocks that are present, forest that is present, something of those sort. Because in this map marking session, I can't go to that extent. Fine, guys. And recently, Telangana government has launched this Kaleshwaram project, which is very, very important. UPSC, once the projects are completed, normally asks these questions. So, try to know about this project being constructed in Telangana. Clear, guys? So now, I want you to know that this is only one part of geography through maps. In the next one, I will try to do world. Then again, I will talk about some important mountains, plateaus that are present in India. So that first I wanted to focus on high yielding areas. After these two sessions of high yielding areas, I'll try to cover even the minor places that were in news. So for geography optional and also other students who are writing in mains and all, you can use those places for your analysis better. Fine, guys? So please keep watching. We have several modules in this COVID crisis. So try to make the best use of the online facilities that are provided in La Excellence. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching.